What's up, guys? Cody here with a patch 11 rundown. Going to be the first patch of the new season. So let's see what they've changed. Six. Fiddle's getting a small nerf. It's not, to be honest. Honestly, I don't really think Fiddle's anyways, but whatever. 1 second nerf on his W. Nora's getting a buff. Mainly on his Q. And the extra E range is actually pretty important. I don't know why they necessarily buff Gnar because I already felt pretty good. Anytime that I would have to be filled top lane, I would play Gnar and have a pretty big impact on the game as it already was. So this is kind of a question mark as to why he's getting buff. But yeah, he's better now to a considerable degree. Karma gets a bigger shield, whatever. This is just to help her keep up with everyone else. But it's probably not gonna do much because Nami and are just better versions of her. Maybe if you really want like a team wide shield slash boost, or if you want some more poke in lane, and then really pushing it. But yeah, Nami and Lula are just better versions of her. You getting a nerf? Whatever. Team just learn how to actually master. Pantheon's getting nerfed. Probably needed. Kiana is getting a buff. That's a little scary, but okay. It's not a huge buff. Outside of like, does get a bit more health regen in general. Survive. She has like more health and like pokes that you. Rise getting a buff. That's a little scary. That's a little scary. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. In general, these like scaling mages aren't doing too good right now just because they don't really do amazing in lane, and the game doesn't go long enough for them to actually scale. So, Saya getting a buff on her E, being able to your blade caller more often, really good in team fights. However, the problem with Zaya is that she suffers in laning phase because the meta ADC just shit on her in lane. So yeah, you can get outside of laning phase. This is a great buff. Otherwise, it was. They're changing Yasuo and Yone so that they can actually hit 100% crit off of 2 items, I believe. Um, I don't really know what to think about it. I don't really play these champions. I don't really see champions that often. When I do, it's pretty hit or miss, mostly miss. So yeah, we'll see. Then they just did a bunch of stat cleanup, which is whatever. Archangels is getting a game. They're saying that this is a buff, but I don't really see it because they're making the build path essentially the same. They're getting 5 more AP, but they're reducing the all AP percentage from mana from 3 to 2%. If I'm not mistaken, Archangel Staff gives a lot of AP. A lot, or not a lot, not a lot of AP, but a lot of mana, which in turn gives a lot of AP. So it's just very interesting that they do that. It gives 500 mana. Okay. How you want to view that is 500 mana is each percentage that it gives here is 5. So going from 3 to 2 is literally that 5 mana right there. This is actually just a nerf. Because that it gives the base 5 plus um more as well. This is just a nerf. Yeah. I'm assuming this doesn't the awe percentage goes to what it is for Seraph's Embrace is 5%. In which case, then you got 5 more AP, but before that, this is actually a nerf. Is really upsetting. Ionian boots, just more ability haste. Cool, great. I didn't think that these were in a terrible spot to. The only thing I would say was that there's a lot of situations where I would just rather have swiftness boots in the game because of how much damage there is in the game when I'm like I'm buying these for my mages or my enchanter supports is what I'm buying for the most part. I mean, I guess you buy it on other items, but I play support, so I'm talking about support. But yeah, there was a lot of games where I was just like, I don't want Lucidity boots unless I'm getting Moonstone Renewer. Um, and instead, I'd rather just get Swiftness boots because the move speed on them, the move speed that I get from Swiftness boots, is gonna help me stay alive. And if I'm dead, I can't, I obviously can't cast spells anymore. So ability haste is useful. Whatever. Metamune, it's gonna cost another 300 gold. I mean, it's definitely significant. 300 gold is a whole kill. So we'll see. But they're removing the like only AD champions can get it. Um, the only champions that do 80 damage can really utilize it. Yeah, I don't know. That's always a scary thing. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. It only really helps Corky out. Everyone else that they're intending this to help doesn't really care. And one thing I'll say is that mages buying this item was pretty troll because buying other items was just better. Outputted more damage, but people were stupid and put all of that together. Renans is going down to 2,500 gold. This is great. A lot of ADCs want to get this as a second item and not as a fourth item. Um, yeah. Realistically, if you could get Infinity Edge second and Runan's third, this would be better. Because you don't have the damage really for Runan's to be a second item anymore. This change. But yeah, and a lot of times the ADCs buying this want Runans because you need that AoE damage. Getting as a fourth item is just too late. Shurelya's is getting a pretty significant buff. The one thing with Shurelya's is that it's not as good. Like the easiest way to put it, it's literally you're buying this when you want to get whoops. You're buying this when you want to get Righteous Glory. But it's not called Righteous Glory, it's called a Ken Punk or Ken Tank, whatever. That item. The item that's Righteous Glory, essentially. You're getting it when you want that item, but you're not don't want to build tanky. Yeah. So it's a decent item um for Rakan. It's a decent item for any type of champion that wants to be looking picks or engages, but doesn't necessarily want stats or active. That's what the item's for. And this helps, like for instance, like Rakan, it helps his team up, which sometimes be an issue. It helps Rakan get more moves in general. This could also be decent for. Actually, I only see it really being used for Rakan. I see certain situations where I could be like, oh, I can get this on Panther. Like I could get this on Karma to get like a bajillion move speed. But it's like at the end of the day, like who the fuck cares? The situations in which this item is useful is far and few between other items. That's why it's getting a nerf. Prowler's Claw is technically getting a nerf. I didn't really think this was an issue, but Hextech Rocket Belt's getting a nerf on the active, but it's getting a buff on the other stats. Same thing's happening with Night Harvester. Um, okay. It makes it so that the item itself isn't such a huge power spike. It's a nerf. Triforce is getting a change. It loses 10 AD but gains 10 ability. I don't really know what to think about that. Yeah, I don't really know what to think about that. Honest. The problem here is that Triforce isn't a marksman item anymore. Um, doesn't give like crit or anything. So Triforce is just like a really awkward item, in my opinion. I'm assuming this isn't gonna really do much. 10 ability haste doesn't feel terrible compared to 10 AD I would have had, so whatever. Lore Drinker is getting an, but it's the change that they're making here is that you heal less now each subsequent champion that you hit. So you're gonna heal less now for hitting 3 champions than you would before. However, you're going to heal more now for hitting just 1 champion. Because they increase the ratio. Um yeah, that's pretty much it. That's cool. Stridebreaker gets into and we're finally buffing Grievous Wounds to apply for 3 seconds. My question is, so the items that apply it for more because it's like the other items applied it for like 4 seconds, right? Those items go to 5 seconds or 6 seconds, or are they staying at 4 seconds? Because if they're staying at 4 seconds, why the hell would I ever want to get those items? Why the hell would I ever want to get those items for an extra second? Why would I not just stick with my 800 gold purchase, buy something else? So, but I've been saying since the start of the preseason that um they put in way too much healing into the game, and everyone's like, "Oh, but Grievous Wounds is now super cheap and whatnot." And I said it doesn't matter, and Riot agrees with me. Nothing, nothing. Um, yeah. The only notable thing from the bug fixes is that Ingenious Hunter um was not properly giving cooldown reduction to items of passive abilities, which is a big deal. Um, Big deal, because that's kind of a big reason why you take Ingenious. And that was like their whole thing at the start of the pre for Ingenious Hunter was that you could take it on items of passives and actives. So that finally got fixed. So yeah. Overall, what are my thoughts on the patch? Pretty meh. This change is great, but not for meta ADC really. Um, which is upsetting. The ADCs that benefit from this change aren't meta and solo queue. 4-mana change is nice. Ultimately, that won't mean anything because the only meta ADC that builds this is just MF, and I think we'll start seeing her not build it because I'm pretty sure it's like a pretty detrimental item on her cost compared to like getting. That's just my personal opinion. And the other stuff's whatever. I really don't think anything's changed that much outside of like you won't get exploded too much. Hopefully. But yeah, and then like this change, I agree with Swoon's change. I feel like just don't bother buying um the second part of the item. Real fast, did they change? Nope, they still have yet to change Mortal Reminder. Mortal Reminder is not the proper amount of damage. It's pretty big, 20 AD. But yeah, so thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Really, this patch is pretty upsetting and nothing changed. Maybe Nara will be useful.